it's always nervous, man. I don't like to play these conference games before Christmas because we had a couple guys that you were afraid might be checked out a little bit, and I didn't think we were really locked in early. Give Charlotte credit. The way they play is hard to prepare for, simply because you just don't see it very much. David Crane, I thought, had a good comment in my pregame. It's almost like you don't prepare for the wishbone hardly anymore, and then you see it, and it's hard to simulate it. And I thought they did a great job because we were trying to cushion them, not to give them back cuts, and they did a great job knocking down 4 of their first 6 threes, took the lead in the game. Our guys kind of stayed the course. We got more aggressive at the end of the half to close out with the lead, and then, again, offensively, they're standing in that lane, and we were not finishing at the rate that we typically do, so they were hanging around, but our defense, steals, making plays, enabled us to get up 15 and to close it out. So glad to be 10-2, and glad to be 1-0 in the league, and glad that we can all have a few days to exhale.
You got a double-double tonight from Trey Jemison against a physical team. Kind of what you thought about that?
Well, that's what I anticipate, Steve. I expect Trey to do that. I thought he was tremendous, and yet he still missed 4 free throws. I mean, he'd been shooting free throws well. It's kind of gotten his head a little bit here as of late, but I thought he did a great job of finishing. Him and Khalifa, their 5-man, are totally different, aren't they? Khalifa steps out, really shoots it, but they're both big and they're physical. And I thought, Khalifa got his way offensively by spacing and shooting in threes, keeping them close, and then I thought Trey did a great job of finishing balls at the basket.
Talk about Eric James just a little bit, especially his outside game.
That time he fell down. Did you see what happened down there? Have you ever seen that before? Did you see it, Steve?
He's right in front of him.
He just fell.
He just fell.
Yeah.
He didn't get tripped, he just fell.
Yeah. You want to talk about that or the whole overall of the game?
Just his ability to shoot the long ball. Literally jam it.
Well, I want to tell you something, and that's a credit to him because he's never been a shooter. And we have impressed upon him the need to get in the gym and work, and he has done that to his credit. He has really put in the reps, and he's shooting it great. His form has never been an issue. It's just about confidence and rhythm and reps, and he's doing those things, and it's paying off. I thought, his ability to knock down threes, obviously Ladarius Brewer was out today, and y'all saw he had a cast on his hand. Broke his hand really it was just a tie-up, and one guy pulled, and his hand went the wrong way, and he broke a bone in his hand. He'll be day-to-day. Believe it or not, they've already done surgery, and they're saying he could be back in 7 days. So we just see how quickly he responds. But he's probably been our second most consistent three-point shooter behind Jelly. So with him out of the game, we needed somebody to step up, and I was glad to see Eric do just that.
Coach Chuck Hill with Big O Sports Podcast. I saw you throw a variety of defenses at him, 1-3-1, 2-3, different things like that. Was that planned? Was it based on the feel of the game, based on their personnel? How do you know when to go to what?
All the above. We have that in our package, and we'll try different things. And sometimes we'll go in and say, okay, with this lineup in for us and them, time, score, just to kind of get them out of rhythm. And then if it works, we'll stay with it a little bit longer. Our 13, our 1-3-1, and when the ball goes to the corner, we'll transition into a 2-3. That was not as effective for us. Early in the game, we made a couple of adjustments, and I thought it really helped us at the end.
Coach Taven Lovin, they flashed something on the screen, he's had 138 games.
Most ever.
Can you just talk about what he's meant to this program over the years?
Yeah, I love Tave, and I was glad to see him bounce back from. I thought it could have really turned the game. We were in front. He comes up with a big steal, and a patented Taven dunk, and it just didn't quite go, and it was a little deflating. I was glad to see him bounce back from that. Had a couple of big plays at the end. We need his energy. We need his presence. We need his downhill driving ability.
Speaking of energy, how did the crowd going once you all started turning around?
Always feels good, man, when we have bodies in here. It seems like every time we have a home game, the world's coming to an end. Last time we were here, it was like tornado weather, and now they're saying black ice. Of course, I think it has to be below freezing to be black ice, at least where I'm from. So I think we're going to be okay for a few hours.
And would it be an 8 straight home win? How does it feel?
Feels good. In order to have any chance to play significant basketball in the month of March, you've got to protect your home court. And we've been able to do that to this point. We've got to continue to do that. We've got 9 more in this building, all in league, 2 right after Christmas, back-to-back with UTEP and UTSA, and we've got to continue to protect this court.
Without L.A. in there, you had Tony got in there early, Butta got in there, kind of. What were your thoughts on the way they played and the way they filled those minutes?
Yeah, Tony's always going to give us great energy. He's athletic. He brings pop. And then obviously Tabe, man, we know what Tabe is capable of doing. He was an all-league player my first year here, and he's got to be productive in his minutes, and I thought he was tonight. I really love Butta. I think he gives us another big guard who can be a primary ball handler and also has the ability to finish some plays. We need some additional scoring. People are playing jelly. They're tilting the floor. We've got to have some other wings step up, and I think Butter's capable of doing that.
Coach, last question for me. I know you guys are near the top as far as pace of play in college basketball.
Fifth in the country, I think. We
And-
probably dropped a little bit tonight.
And they're on the opposite end of that, so I know you touched on it
358.
a little bit in the opening, but, you know, how is it, what's it like to try to prepare for that and emulate that?
Well, everybody says, oh, man, you got to speed them up, you got to speed them up. You can't speed them up. You dictate pace with your offense. So you can't speed them up if we're not scoring where we can get into our pressures. The only time I thought they got sped up was when we were in our pressures. But we struggled with our shooting so much early. We finished at 46% in the first half, 48% in the second. So we ended up being fairly efficient. But the 15 turnovers, man, that's a season high for us where we were able to win. We couldn't put them away. You know, it's sitting at 12, 14, 16, and we would just do foolish things with the ball, and then they would hit opportune threes. As I said, they made 4 threes early. We did a really good job. I think they missed 9 straight. Then they made a couple at the end to keep themselves in the game. So for us, it was about trying to execute, trying not to get frustrated, trying to stay attentive throughout the defensive possession, score the ball, and put them in some full court situations. We ended up turning them over 16 times, which was a huge key in the game. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
It's tough, man. They're a slower paced team, and we had to adjust coming into the game tonight, but we adjusted well, so we did pretty well.
How does it feel being 1-0 in conference play?
It's one at a time, man. You know, don't rejoice, don't get too happy, don't get too low. So we just take it day by day.
This was Tatum Levin's 138th game. They flashed it on the screen. It's a program record. What's he meant for this program over the years?
It's huge, man, to have that backbone. Somebody who's always been here. So many guys come from other schools, like myself, but to be so faithful to a school is just different nowadays. So it's a big time to have him here.
When you guard that Khalifa kid, he likes to step out and hit the
Yeah.
How difficult is it for someone that likes staying in the paint, try to wander closer to the line, or do you just like staying close to that?
It was difficult. I like to help, try to get some blocks, but I had to adjust halfway through because he made 2 or 3 in the first half that kind of hurt us big. So going to halftime, I made a mindset to say, like, he has to drive me before he gets another 3 off.
You guys get pretty comfortable playing at home. Most teams that come in here leave with a loss. Can you just talk about when you guys are playing this well at home, what it does to the morale of this team?
I think it's a mindset thing. Home court advantage is something we have to take pride of, you know what I'm saying? We have a great fan base. So to give them a show every time we put our jerseys on is important to us.
Trey, I saw where, you know, you guys played a lot of zone and different things like that, so a lot of times you're matched up against guys that aren't big. So what's your mindset with that when you're out on the perimeter? What's your focus during those times?
I mean, keep them in front, man, you know. Don't get blown by. And if they do, I just have to play smart, you know. I'm a bigger guy. If I swipe down, I'm going to probably get the foul call 9 out of 10 times. But just stay in front, man, keep the ball.
Was this difficult or weird to play a conference game this early before Christmas? And I mean, was it a little tough to adjust, I guess?
To be honest, yeah. You know, most time Christmas is the halfway mark of the season. You can go home and restart, but it didn't matter, you know. We're an older team. We're an experienced team. So we just took the challenge and got to work.
How did you get those dunks in the second half in the crowd going?
It was great, man. Coach was on us about the score, man. They came out, hit us pretty hard. We have a lead for, I believe, like 12 minutes. And going to halftime, I missed the left-handed layup. I was frustrated, so went to the rim, man. It felt great.
Coach was talking about free throw shooting. Sometimes you get in your own head with that. When you were going well at the line, what is it, the same routine every single time, or what works for you?
Yeah, it's routine, man. Just being mentally calm down there. I got excited, thinking about the scoring, thinking about time and scoring, and I lost it.